What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 2 for 2, your sports podcast for the culture, by the voices of the culture. I'm your host, Keith. I'm here as always with my brother, Nell, man. And we are back on the pod today, man. Another episode of 2 for 2. Let's jump right into it. It's season 4, episode 25. Let's go. Hey, Nell, my brother, how you doing, man?
Feeling good in this snowy weather.
Yeah, trying to stay
Everything's
warm.
Great, man. How are you? Good to see you again.
I'm pretty good, you know. Snow got us out of work. Well, got me out of going into work.
Actually, I'll take that back. It's not good
days.
to see you.
You right. You just reminded me. I appreciate you. The Sixers do not run my Knicks. I had to put that out there because we walked into your trap now.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
We still run New York.
Both teams at full strength. My team might look different in a couple days. I'm gonna let you know. That February 1st deadline is approaching, man.
That shit gonna look exactly the same.
And we're gearing up. Nah, man, Drew Holiday's on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they do need to free him out of Portland.
Yeah, we're either getting him in a deal with Giannis, or we're getting him, and then in the summer we're gonna get Giannis. Yeah, word on the streets, Portland is really enamored with Mikal Bridges. So that's what they're saying. Apparently, Portland, they like Mikal Bridges a lot.
You would trade Mikal for Drew Holiday?
I mean, it would be a multitude of things to go on.
Like what?
It'd probably be like Drew and something else. Like, it'd be like a 3-team trade. You see what I'm saying? Like, we getting Drew and maybe some picks, Drew and some players.
Yeah, I mean, better get some picks in return after trading away the dude that you sent 4 first-round picks away for.
The picks would be to get Giannis. Let me see. It was one hypothetical deal that I saw. Essentially, this is.
I don't like hypothetical deals.
It would essentially be Giannis, Drew Holiday. It's a 3-team deal. Bucks, Blazers, Knicks. Right.
I don't like that, bro. Hey, let's just everybody chip in somebody to give to the Knicks so they have a better chance of winning a championship. I don't like that.
I mean, both of those teams have. The Blazers are kind of in no man's land, and the Bucks are at a stalemate. So we know how these deals go, right? When you're the Bucks and you have Giannis, I mean, this isn't me saying he's going to come to the Knicks. This is me speculating purely. But we know when we see superstars in this situation, when it gets to the point you got to get rid of them, you're gonna probably lose the deal. So this one includes Thanasis too, because you got to chip him in there.
I can understand losing the deal. I can't understand another team coming in and being like, "Oh yeah, let's add another asset to that for no reason."
So it would be Knicks get Giannis, Thanasis, Drew Holiday. The Bucks get Cat, Tyler Kolek, Jordan Clarkson, and some future pick swaps, and then the Blazers get Mikal Bridges, Pacom Dadier, and Yabusele. That's not a bad trade.
Nobody's winning but the Knicks. Nobody's winning.
Cat gets what he wants. He gets to be the guy. I'm just saying.
Is that what Cat wants?
I don't know. I want him to produce on the basketball court. So if he's not going to, he can go to Milwaukee, and we'll take Giannis. So we'll see how it all plays out. Giannis has a calf injury, right? 4 to 6 weeks, so he won't be playing anytime soon, anyways, right?
Calf injury.
So, yeah, but just my little tidbit of the day.
Okay.
I appreciate you segueing me into that, man. I almost forgot. Y'all got a big game tonight, back to back, after just getting smacked up yesterday. Whew. But anyway, we'll move on. We didn't come here for this. We did.
Thanks.
We got to talk about the championship round fallout, man. The Super Bowl is set, right? We got Patriots, Seahawks. A little rematch, if you will, for how many years ago is that now? About 10, 12? Earlier? 6 years ago?
I wouldn't say 6. How old am I? I had to be at least 20, maybe. Was that 2016? There's no way it was 2016.
It was 2015. It was 2015. Okay.
Really?
So 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 years ago. Okay, I thought see. All right. Well, I was about to say I was still in high school, technically. I wasn't in college.
I was in college. It's been that damn long?
Yeah, bro. 10 years. Well, 2026, so
I don't like
years.
It, man.
Yeah. Rematch, man. Patriots won that one 28-24. You know, there's been all the speculation and all the coincidences with the NFL, the graphic from the beginning of the year that showed Drake May and Sam Darnold at the top of it. You know, that was interesting. A lot of people said the script. You know, Nell is a script owner. Was this in the script?
It was in, you know how they have multiple scripts to try
The
to
multiverse.
like, you know, prevent you from knowing the true script, so they hand out multiple versions of the script.
Did you get a copy of this one?
I did not see this script. They hid
Okay.
this script from me.
Okay. Well, here we have it. So we might as well talk about how we got here, right? Patriots go on to take on the Broncos, right? So the Patriots defeat the Broncos in Mile High Stadium, obviously. Bo Nix out. Jarrett Stidham steps in. So give me your thoughts on that game first. Let's start there.
Yeah, just obviously a defensive game. Second half, the weather was just ridiculous. You know, I thought Jarrett Stidham came out and, you know, first
Had a
couple of
great first
drives,
drive.
he looked solid. First drive got them a touchdown. Defense was, you know, locking up in that first half, and you know, I told you this was a game. You know, if the Broncos were able to, you know, lock in defensively, the Patriots haven't looked great offensively this entire postseason. You know, maybe they could pull off an upset, but you know, turnovers and, you know, obviously those conditions in the second half, it was just impossible to move the ball, impossible to kick a field goal in that weather. And, you know, the Patriots made enough plays to win it. Huge turnover, you know, before the end of the first half. Uh, Obviously, we'll talk about the decision to go for it on 4th and 1 in the red zone. Had a chance to go up 14-0 or 10-0 if they kicked the field goal. You know, I thought in that moment that they should have kicked the field goal and went up 10-0, but you know, I can understand trying to go for the kill shot. You're already undermanned. But yeah, the Patriots, they got it done.
Yeah.
Wasn't, you know, a crazy battle tested road, but they're back in the Super Bowl. Didn't take that long in the post Tom Brady era. And Mike
Yeah.
Vrabel is his first year. Drake May's second year. Um, and they're there.
Damn.
Diggs
Who would have thought?
gets to the Super Bowl before Josh Allen. So I mean, hats off to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny, man. We all like you hit on a lot of interesting points, man. You know, looking at this game, first off, you know, a score of 10-7, right? If you would have told me, well, we both predicted that it would be a low scoring game. We knew it would be a kind of an ugly defensive game. But still, had you told me, you know, 10-7 would have got it done for the Patriots, or had you just said it would have been 10-7 Patriots with Jarrett Stidham starting at quarterback for the Broncos, no Bo Nix, I would have thought it would have been a little bit wider of a margin. But, you know, you talked about the weather. Do you think when you look at the score, is the weather, like you looking at the score for the Patriots, because you know, we talk about the road for them to get here, you know, the quarterbacks that they played, and then they get in this game, they won, right? And then, you know, ultimately at this point in the season, you know, you just want to survive in advance. But should we look into that 10-7 more against this team without their starting quarterback? Or should we just say, you know, like you said, it's the bad weather, you know, to get to obviously it's hard to play in Denver. That defense is no joke as well. But I'm just looking at it like, hey, should we be impressed with that? 10-7?
I I feel like there's two sides to it. You any team that, you know, goes through an entire season, they get to the Super Bowl, you win 3 playoff games. You got to give them, you know, credit for getting the job done, making the plays, and getting to the Super Bowl. It's a hard thing to get to the Super Bowl. My team hasn't been there in 30 years. It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Incredibly tough. On the other end, like you said, you look at the teams that they played and the quarterbacks that they played. Justin Herbert, you know, coming in, he had I don't know, was it the wrist or the hand that was kind of messed up? He didn't play great in that playoff game. And, you know, obviously there's been talks about how he performs in the postseason, how he shows up. Then you go on to CJ Stroud, who, my God, I don't know which quarterback played worse, Stidham or CJ Stroud. I think CJ Stroud probably gets the cake for worst performance of the postseason.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And then obviously you're playing a backup quarterback that hasn't thrown a right. Forget a playoff, game. He hasn't played, thrown a pass in a regular season or a playoff game
I
in
think it was 700
2 years.
something. Yeah, 735 days or something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, you just can't expect. Nobody expected a backup quarterback that hasn't had any reps with the team this entire season and the last 2 years to beat a New England Patriots team that was coming in playing well defensively, obviously a contender and been playing well all year. But then I look at it this way: they played three of the best defenses in the postseason.
That's true.
Chargers, to a lesser degree, but still, a solid defensive team. And then you look at the Houston Texans, who I thought probably had the best defense in the NFL this past year. And what they were able to do with the pass rush and their secondary, and then going up to Denver, like you said, last year's Defensive Player of the Year and Pat Surtain. I think the Broncos led the league in sacks this year. So a lot of talent on that defense. So you played two of the top 3 to 4 defenses in the entire NFL in this postseason. Didn't look great offensively, but still you were able to get it done. So I got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's all you want, right? At the end of the day, Mike Vrabel doesn't, he doesn't care, right? Like, at the end of the day, you play who's in front of you, and they're winning these games, and they've earned the right to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, people all year, kind of downplayed them, said whatever they said, but we all know to win a championship, sometimes it requires a lot of things, right? Sometimes you gotta have luck. You obviously gotta have skill. You gotta have talent.
Health.
You gotta be the right timing. All these things, and right now, what we have is a Patriots team that has done what they need to do to get to this opportunity, and to think that it's just going to be a lay down game. I mean, they were the number 1 team in the AFC pretty much all year, right? Like, you got Drake May it still is in the MVP conversation until that debate is ended. But hats off to them. They won the game. I mean, you touched on it a little bit. Did you have anything else you want to say about Sean Payton's 4th down, the decision for the Broncos that kind of helped keep the game close? I mean, we've seen decisions like this all year, right? We know the Lions, they died on that sword. You've seen other teams that play 4th down heavy. You got Sean McVay makes a lot of interesting decisions on 4th down as well that cost his team as well. So the Eagles and so on and so forth. So ultimately, I mean, what do you think about this? The coach's decision, the analytics, right? The numbers suggest this versus that. But then you look at this game like this, where 10 points is all the other teams score.
I feel like at this point we're not even looking at the analytic numbers. We're just saying, like, it's 1 yard to go. We're close to score. We're on the other half of the field. Let's just go for it. And I feel like that's just become a common thing in the NFL lately. Like, nobody wants to take the points when they're there. It's kind of strange, especially when you have these kickers now that, are kicking 60, 50-yard field goals. We get down in the red zone and we're just like, let's just go for it. Let's be aggressive. And I can understand that to a degree. You're undermanned. You don't have your back. Your starting quarterback playing against a really good Patriots team, and you have the chance to go up 14-0. And if you go up 14-0, the door is closed.
It's probably over.
That wasn't going to happen. But you could say the same thing if they went up 10-0.
Yeah,
they only scored 10 points, and
it might change how they're thinking too. Yeah,
you had multiple kicks missed in the second half. Like I said, especially it's so early. Like, I understand if it's a 4th and 1 in the second half, you need it. You don't know if you're going to get back down there, but you just had a first drive. You got down there, scored a touchdown. Second drive, unfortunately you got stopped at yards short. You go up 10-0. Now it's kind of still 2 possessions. I look at it like I play Madden. Like, look, I'm up 2 possessions. Even if you score, I still got 1 more possession to try to put some more points on the board, and kind of force you to try to have to go down the field twice to score. For me, it was just too early in the game. And I feel like being that aggressive, like, all right, the Eagles and the tush push going for it on 4th and 1, physically, that's just like, for a while, it was just an impossible play to stop. Like, they just were so physically dominant on that play yeah, go for it every 4th and 1 because there's no chance of you being stopped. You know, they do a bootleg and, you know, Patriots pass rush is, you know, and this postseason has been spectacular. So give them a ton of credit for getting that stop. And then, I mean, especially when they go for it on 4th and 1 and they're passing the ball, that honestly kills me.
Right.
And then, like I said, I think if you have an elite defense, I think you take the points always. I only agree being that aggressive, going for it on 4th down multiple times, if you have a defense that you don't trust, or on the other side of the field, there's an offense that
Right.
is just not going to be stopped. And
Right. Well,
clearly,
you need points.
if you watch the Patriots from the last couple of weeks, you know that offense was not going to go up and down the field. You've got one of the top 5 defenses in the NFL. They weren't going to go up and down the field on you. You could play, you know, clock management, time and score. You can play that game, field the position. You can play that game with a defense like the Broncos have. So I just didn't agree with him. We're just seeing it so often lately, and I just feel like we're taking ourselves. I would love to see a stat on just how many times teams go for it constantly on 4th down and end up losing a game by 3 points when they could have kicked multiple field goals instead of trying to go for it and get those extra 4 points. Like I said, I get being aggressive and trying to go for the kill shot, but constantly leaving points on the board, and especially in a close game, it just comes back to bite you.
Yeah, and especially for me, like just looking at all of the factors in this game, you mentioned it, the defense that the Broncos have. You're talking about you're at home, the elements, and you got Jarrett Stidham starting for you, right? How about we give our guy that hasn't started in 2 years some confidence to know, like, okay, hey, I didn't just this bootleg, play action bootleg pass didn't work on 4th and 1, and I got hit, right? That's messing with your psyche too, right? Like if we go up 10, I got the best defense in the NFL in my eyes, and we get a stop. I'm up 10-0 right now. I'm really feeling like, oh, I can go lead us to win this game if I'm Jarrett Stidham, right? So I think the decision to do that, it just makes it hard. You know, it takes a little bit away from Jarrett Stidham. It makes it harder on him as well for the Broncos. So, and look, it came back to bite him. So I mean, at the end of the day,
I mean, if they kick that field goal and he doesn't have that awful turnover where he, you know, just intentional grounding, and you know, they end up scoring a touchdown the very next play, they very well could have won that game. Like those 2 plays were probably the most important plays of the game. That 4th and 1 call, and New England getting that stop, and then that 3rd down where he, you know, fumbles the ball and, you know, intentional grounding, whatever the case may be, where he turned it over and, you know, New England was able to score the very next possession because that was probably their best field position. That was the first time that they got down in the red zone. The entire game was off of that turnover.
yeah.
Denver was shutting it down pretty much the entire game other than that. So, you know, those mistakes will be kicking you, but you know, everything is aggression. Go for it. That's the NFL we live in now.
The new age NFL, man. It's crazy to wrap this up on the Patriots and Broncos front. Walt just sent a tweet in the chat, and for the Patriots schedule from week 1 to 18, they only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of those weeks. The team they played was either an NFC South team, which for all intents and purposes wasn't that great this year, the Jets twice, and the Bengals once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6. 3 NFC South teams. The rest of the weeks, those teams' coaches were fired. They fired a coach. Week 1, fire coach. Week 2, fire coach. Week 3, fire coach. Week 4, NFC South. Week 5, fired coach. Week 6, NFC South. Week 7, fire coach. Week 8, fire coach. Week 9, fire coach. Week 10, NFC South. Week 11, Jets. Week 12, Bengals. Week 13, fired head coach. Week 15, fired head coach. Week 16, fired head coach. Week 17, Jets. Week 18, fired head coach. What a season. The Patriots are getting coaches fired. That's the context for you guys, man. So
it's kind of luck you need sometimes.
We'll see, man. We'll see. On the other side, man, they're playing against a Seahawks team that that won a big one, man. They made a statement. That was an offensive shootout. I think both quarterbacks had over 300-some yards
Great
passing.
game.
Right,
Great
you saw
game.
JSN heavily featured. You saw Puka Nacua heavily featured. You saw Devontae Adams heavily featured. I mean, Cooper Kupp got in the end zone against a team that told him to retire. Right, everything was there. All the dramatics were there. What are your reactions to that game, man? That Seahawks-Rams game that got the Seahawks to the Super Bowl.
Oh man, I was just elite quarterback play. To be honest, I can't remember the last time I've seen in the NFC Championship or AFC Championship, just probably Brady and Mahomes years back, just two quarterbacks just going at it, just throwing dots all across the field, just making plays. And I don't even really think it was just bad defense. I think both
No.
defenses played pretty well. They both made plays, obviously, but both quarterbacks were playing at such an extremely high level. Play calling was at a high level. Just a really great game. Expected nothing less from it. I mean, they've the trilogy from those two teams this year was sensational. Sam Darnold, like I said, I really think that win that he had against the Rams was it week 15, week 16, whatever it was. I really think that helped him turn the corner in his career because he had that knock on him about not being able to come through in big games. And I think that second game against the Rams in which he won, I think that was probably the single, even though, he just won an NFC championship, I think that might have been the single biggest game of his win of his career. Cause that just, he shook off all the doubters and any kind of, question marks that, him winning a big game, were answered right there. And then, he goes into the postseason and, he has two really big victories against battle-tested playoff teams like as well. Kyle Shanahan and 49ers who have, represented the NFC in multiple Super Bowls, been at multiple NFC championships. The Rams who, won a Super Bowl a few years ago have always been, a tough out since Matthew Stafford has gotten there. Even when Jared Goff was there and Sean McVay, how much of a great play caller he is. So to be able to overcome all that and really just turn his whole career around from where he, started with the Jets and everyone said he was seeing ghosts and, you kind of just thought he was just going to turn into a backup journeyman. And, he goes to the Vikings and, reignites his career and somehow, some way the Vikings say, we're good. We're going to go with 9. We're going to go with 9 over the guy that just won 14 games for us. I mean, if there is any team kicking themselves badly right now, it is them. That is, that's a really hard decision, to look back on it and swallow. You got last year you had the Giants and Saquon, and then this year you got the Vikings and Sam Darnold, possibly capturing a Super Bowl. So shouts out to him for getting it done.
Wow.
But yeah, that was a great game, and shout out to DeMarcus Lawrence too. I laughed at him when he said he knew he wasn't going to get to a Super Bowl in Dallas, and just got to face the facts that the man was right.
He was.
You were not getting to a Super Bowl if you were in Dallas. So go somewhere else. I respect it, and he played well.
A lot of love for y'all,
and both playoff games. So big respect for him. Hope he can go ahead and get himself a ring.
Yeah, man, it'll be cool, bro. It's crazy to think. Looking at the Seahawks and Rams game and that battle, like you said, the quarterback battle. Another guy, I left him out, Kenneth Walker. For the Seahawks, I think he stepped up big. I think a lot of people forgot how good that guy is at football, right? And he's just seeing him with the ball. Like, he's one of those guys. Like, he just when you watch Jahmyr Gibbs and you watch the Bijan Robinsons and the Jonathan Taylors and McCaffreys, those guys, when they get the ball and it just looks different. Like Kenneth Walker, he has that talent to him as well. And I think sucks for them that Charbonnet's out, but on the other end of that, you got a pretty fresh Kenneth Walker, coming down the stretch for you and to play in a Super Bowl game of this magnitude, man. You mentioned Sam Darnold, his career turnaround. A big shout out to him, a guy number 3 pick that a lot of people kind of cast off. You mentioned the Vikings picking my boy J.J. McCarthy. over Sam. You think if Sam went back to the Vikings, they would have repeated the success though? Because we weren't expecting this. We gotta be real.
They may not. They probably don't repeat the success just simply because they don't have the defensive talent that Seattle has. But they would have been in the postseason.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. It's crazy to see, man. Sam Darnold, man. Who knew? Who knew? Sam Darnold, Drake May. What a crazy Super Bowl. The stage is set, right? It's here now. So what early thoughts, man? We got 2 weeks because the Pro Bowl. Shout out to Shador Sanders.
Pro Bowl has never been more meaningless.
Shout out to Shador Sanders sneaking in that Pro Bowl as an alternate. But yeah, what are our early thoughts on the bowl, man? How you feeling? Where you leaning as of today?
I saw somewhere that like the Seahawks are coming in as like the most favored team in the Super Bowl, and since I don't know when, I think maybe the Rams in 21, or I can't remember when it was, but I actually think it'll be a pretty good game. I think a lot of people are low on the Patriots right now because of how they've looked coming into the Super Bowl and the teams that they played and how they've looked offensively. But I mean, I think defensively, I think their pass rush has been shot out of the cannon this postseason. They got a ton of pressure in the regular season, but it looks different in this playoffs, the way they've been able to get pressure on quarterbacks and create turnovers through that. Secondaries played really well, so I think it'll be a close game. I hope they can bring a little bit more juice offensively than they've shown in these playoffs, because they'll need it. I think Seattle will still be able to put up a decent amount of points. I'm not saying it'll be a shootout like they were against the Rams, or they'll pummel them like they did the 49ers, but I think this will be another pretty close game. I do favor the Seahawks right now, but I think a lot of people are counting out the Patriots just because of how they've looked in this path. But once you get there, you're there, and at that point, it's just two teams. It's one game, mano a mano, and we'll see who brings their best game. But
yeah,
I'll take the Seahawks for right now, early pick. But I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Patriots on this one.
Yeah, I actually really agree with you, and I mean, I agree with you most times.
You was about to say you hate to agree with me, which is crazy.
No, I don't hate to agree with you. That's not true. I just feel like I'm kind of with you in the sense of I feel like a lot of people aren't on the Patriots, right? And when that happens, you got to get that feeling of like, oh nah, something's not right, right? Like it sounds too good, right? The way the Seahawks just won, they look like the more explosive team. You use the word juice, right? Like when I think of these teams, I think the Seahawks is juiced up team that throwing for 300 yards, whatever. Then on the Patriots side, as of late, they've been in more low scoring, kind of nasty games. But I mean, this is still a Patriots offense that, Drake May is in the MVP conversation for a reason, right? He can light it up as well on the other side. And I would love to see a high scoring Super Bowl. I would love to see excuse me. I mean, 28-24 was what it was in 2015. The 28 to 30 range would be great. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think that's what NFL fans deserve, because these are two teams.
Another 28-24 finish would be nice.
That would be cool, right? It would just be nice. I want to see Sam Darnold throw it. I want to see Drake May, sling it around. Let's get Diggs in the end zone, right? I think what he had 7 or something catches for like 20 yards last game or something stupid like that. Like, and obviously I think whenever I watch the NFL, I always feel like there's like a style.
Chef better be on point that Super Bowl week. Better be on point.
My boy on Edge, you definitely get slapped this week. You better have it exactly how you had it last time. That's gonna be nasty. We got Cardi B at the bowl, man. That's a shame. Look at that. Carlton Davis in the Super Bowl again. That boy caught a pick in the playoffs. I said, this ain't no way. I can't let the Patriots win. You're right. I gotta hate. I don't know. Nah, in all seriousness, I do think it'll be a more exciting game than I think some people are kind of leading on, right? I think, people hate on the Patriots for the Tom Brady era, and I think a lot of people don't really watch the Patriots, right? Similarly, the Seahawks, they play the 4:00 slate, West Coast team. A lot of like we watch them a lot, but I think the Super Bowl you're about to attract like a humongous crowd of people, right? That probably they just there for commercials and the halftime show. Who's doing the halftime show?
Bad Bunny.
Do you know? Ah, okay, it'll be entertaining. But anyway, so I think it'll be a good brand of football.
Yeah, I actually saw a topic on TMZ while I was at the gym. They said, "Will ICE invade the Super Bowl?"
It's a shame that you got to worry about that.
That would be insane. I just don't even. I don't even think that's a possibility. That would be so wild.
Nah. You're not messing up the Super Bowl. You can't mess up the Super Bowl. It's an American holiday. You can't mess up the Super Bowl. Oh man, that's funny.
That would be nasty.
ICE invaded Super Bowl. Wow. Why are they playing TMZ at the gym?
It's like 20 TVs in there. They got a bunch of different channels that be on.
What gym you go to now?
Oh, I just go to a little Planet Fitness. Not crazy.
Okay, not too crazy. Okay, so I'm just making sure. But yeah, man, I could see the 28-24. I would love to say that it's 28-24 Seattle this year. I think that's how I'm feeling early.
Would be fitting.
You got 2 weeks.
Would a Drake May interception at the goal line?
Hey, that'd be all too right. It'd be all too perfect. Is Russell Wilson gonna go to the Super Bowl? Is he able to come back? Like, I feel like you gotta bring back Seattle alum. Like, I feel like he should be able to come.
But I mean, apparently none of the Seattle alum really mess with him. So
Sherm said that.
Most of their defense say that.
They mad he threw the pick, man. Wasted all that. They can't say they was champions because of him. I'd hate them too, low key. We did all that for you. Legion of Boom was why you got here. And Marshawn, you gonna throw it.
I don't like that though. Russ was more than it was more than just the Legion of Boom.
He was hooping. They was a solid squad. Like Pete Carroll fired.
Russ went crazy. Russ went crazy in that NFC Championship against the Packers.
That was a fun game.
Insane game. They shouldn't have been there. They should not have been there.
But what happened?
The refs cheated. Dez called it. That's all I'm gonna say. Dez called it.
That's fair, man. Yeah. We'll see, bro. That's crazy. It's definitely a matchup to see, I think for two different reasons. Both teams, it'll be very competitive. I think it'll be very fun, so obviously this year, I don't remember who I predicted to be in the Super Bowl. I know neither of us predicted the Seahawks and I think I had Eagles and it might have been the Chiefs or something, or I think I might have had
Eagles, Bills.
Yeah, it was something along that lines. As you can see, we were wrong, folks. So, we got a Super Bowl that we can just enjoy. You having a party this year? What's the vibes?
Don't know yet.
Yeah.
It's looking like it might be the crib.
Yeah, I gotta see. I didn't really do anything last year.
I don't remember the last time I've been to a Super Bowl party, to be honest with you.
Hey, man, I used to.
Eagles been representing too often, so like I ain't partying
it
if they in it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm just hate watching from the side.
Hey, we get a fresh Super Bowl where nobody's hate watching from our side. I don't really care who went. I just want to see a good football game. If it's a snooze fest, I'm gonna be pissed. Then I'm gonna have to drink, and I don't want to do that.
You don't have to drink.
No. If I'm at a Super Bowl party and the game's boring, unless they're going to pull some Tom Brady in 2016 out the hat. Was that 2016? 2017. 2017. That'd be lit. But we'll see, man. We'll see. That's going to wrap it up for this episode, 2 for 2. The Super Bowl will be here in a few weeks. The NBA trade deadline will be upon us in a few days. I want y'all to remember the first 10 minutes of this episode. When it happens, don't say I didn't tell you so. All right. Let us know, up until the Super Bowl, who you guys got in the game and why. We'll be here to listen, comment, subscribe, like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Just listen to the podcast. And we're going to keep doing this, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for listening. And we appreciate y'all rocking with us all this time. With that, Keith Snell is 2 for 2. We out.